Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is Tina Stephanie, and I'm here to present, I'm excited to present the final project of the day, the 8 to 9 Connections Program, which is a transition program at OPRF helping 8th graders transition successfully into 9th grade. Which is why I should note at this point why we're all wearing our Husky colors today. Our team consists of, example of that. Our team consists of Dave Benson, assistant principal, Julian Middle School, Lashina Lee, One Source Patient Advocacy, Carol Seeley, business operations and risk manager, Dominican University, and myself, Tina Stecky, assistant principal, Roosevelt School, District 9.
Okay, so how did we get here? How did we come up with the 8 to 9 connection idea? As everyone has been saying, there are so many opportunities in the OPRF area. There's so many great organizations. There's so many support networking groups. So we decided to look at maybe a program that needs a little bit of help that was already started. So having 2 educators on our team, they knew about the 8 to 9 connection program at the high school and to help students transition from 8th to 9th grade successfully. So we came up with, we met a few times, we were talking about some different ideas, and we came up with the idea of a video. Something with students in it, something upbeat, something describing the program to help build awareness. So in the meantime, we went back to some middle school teachers and administrators that we knew and just threw the idea at them, what would you think about a video for this transition program type of situation? And they were a resounding yes. How do I get the video? And I'm like, well, we just came up with it. I'm like, I don't have anything yet. So then we went to Chris Johnson at the high school. She's the director of the program, and that's where off we went. And as we did some research, we realized this issue is not just unique to the OPRF area. The importance of a smooth transition from 8th to 9th grade cannot be emphasized enough, as this transition will determine a student's success in high school, as well as decisions about their post-secondary life.
One of the most important things we learned through the CLP program is that effective leaders listen. So in reaching out to all the community organizations, we heard a resounding yes that there was a need to look at the transition from 8th to 9th grade. As Carol shared, we sought out and listened to lots of different organizations, and we narrowed our focus to District 200's recently renewed strategic plan. Dave Benson and myself both worked on the creation of the strategic plan as members of the Holistic Community Education Task Force. The Holistic Community Education Task Force identified a goal of improving the transitions from middle school to high school, as well as from high school to post-secondary experiences. So looking at all of that, we thought, what do we do? You know, it's a big nut to crack. So we found the 8 to 9 Connections program with Chris Johnson, and we decided to partner with them to create a video that will raise awareness of this existing program and hopefully enhance it as time goes on.
And as mentioned again, just so you know, as feedback, there's about 700 or so 8th graders feeding into the 3 middle schools. And then if you add the Catholic school kids in as well, then you're getting more towards 900. Of those, about 50 or so don't meet the graduation requirements in 8th grade. So a lot of you're thinking that those, where is that population, or does that population exist? It certainly does. Even with all the interventions that the teachers, the administration puts in place, there are still kids who come out of 8th grade not ready to go into the high school. So the idea of creating the video and including some students who have successfully navigated high school as a testimonial back to those students who are kind of where they're at either 2 years ago or before is certainly very important. Here are some of the learning goals, program goals of 8 to 9. Learn and apply knowledge and skills for academic success in the freshman year. Gain a deeper sense of belonging to Oak Park High School. Acquire life skills, be able to negotiate school effectively, such as independent work skills, effective communication, instilling enthusiasm for learning, effective participation, goal setting, high school expectations, homework skills, peer relations, and again, work ethic. And again, a lot of the kids in this program, actually most of them lack all of them or a majority of those. So there is that population that are, again, not set up for success. And if we can kind of create that partnership with the parents, I think certainly we'd be a lot better off with those students.
Up next, you will get a chance to view the actual video that will be administered by OPRF faculty and administration to the oncoming students that come into OPRF into the fall. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our video.
Yes.
I'm Tashna.
And we're here to tell you about the 8 to 9 connection.
The 8 to 9 connection is a transition program for incoming freshmen.
We're going to introduce you to teachers, the students,
And all that good stuff.
so let's get started.
Stay on. I think as the student that's a good fit for the 8-9 connections is someone who is perhaps not done as well as they could have in 8th grade, struggled perhaps academically, struggled perhaps with getting to school, getting to class on time, struggled perhaps with some of the interactions and expectations that teachers have of them, and certainly would welcome the opportunity to reinvent themselves in high school. I think the 8-9 Connections program would certainly allow that for a student to get a fresh start, a student to kind of build those skills before they enter the larger, more fast-paced high school environment where you're going to have support in the 8-9 Connections program through teachers and counselors and different programs within the Connections program that will allow you to again, develop some of those skills that either A, weren't developed or weren't taken advantage of when you were in 8th grade. The 8 to 9 connection has a combination of high school teachers and middle school teachers.
They work hard in the summer to get kids ready for OPRF in the fall.
So let's see what the teachers have to say.
With the 8 to 9 Connection program for 6 summers. I believe this will be my 7th summer, and I have a passion for those students who somehow seem to fall through our cracks. And teaching at the middle school enables me to better connect with them in some way because of course I'm familiar with where they're coming from. And so I just love it every single summer. I look forward to it. It's a good time, and we celebrate every day because the smallest improvement is a celebration.
Besides the academic skills that we cover, I think that building kind of people skills is a huge part of this program. A lot of times students who come into the program often feel like they don't have many connections to their peers or to their teachers or to their school community. So this is kind of a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 17th chance to feel successful at school and realize that the people around you, whether that is your classmates or your teacher or the school community, is there to help you and guide you through these next 4 years rather than have them be these groups of people that are working against you.
In 8 to 9, we focus on not just academics, but also some of the soft skills that you need when you come to high school, or that students need when they come to high school. We focus on social emotional stuff, so how to have positive relationships with your peers, having positive relationships with teachers, and other adults in the building, how to become part of a community, both in the classroom and beyond, and in other parts of the school, in groups and clubs. We talk about problem solving, and not only just through the text, but also just in terms of day-to-day situations that arise. We help students navigate all kinds of situations that come up so that they can have positive experiences when they're in the building and make the most of their time here.
Well, first, life skills is the most important thing. So, and that can range from anything, just how to deal with any problems, any everyday problems with your family, with your friends, how to deal with stress, how to handle a fight between you and your best friend that morning, things like that that would, again, prevent you from being your best at school that day. That's really what we stress. So is to stay away from the drama. Really, one of the most common ways is kids get involved in drama with their friends, with other groups of friends that they don't or may not be talking to. Just try to focus as much as you can on schoolwork and your outside activities or some sports or clubs. Staying away from the drama is really key because so many kids, they want to do well, but once the second they leave the classroom, they get into fights or they argue. That totally puts them in a horrible mood or just gets them in trouble. It keeps them out of the classroom. It's really one of the most common things I see for freshmen, so stay out of the drama.
When students who are selected for the 8 to 9 program usually had a tough time in middle school.
So the 8 to 9 program isn't just to help your academics, it's also to help you get connected to the high school.
Tyshawn, do you feel connected?
Feel connected to you?
Let's ask some other students.
My name is Jacqueline, and I'm a sophomore here at OPRF. My freshman year, I did cheerleading, and my sophomore year, I did spoken word. I was in 2 showcases. I was a part of the 8 to 9 connection 2 years ago, and I thought it was a really great experience because I got to meet new people, and I got like a better understanding at the things that I didn't get before. So
I got to know people and met a lot of really awesome teachers and like all the assistants and the volunteers are really awesome. And I like that it really helped me get to know the school a little better before I actually came here, and it really did help.
Well, my experience in that 8 to 9 connection was that it was trying to get you prepared to go into high school because it's a difficult transition for a lot of people. I know especially me it was a difficult transition because I wasn't much of a talker. So it'll prepare you as far as socially you already be geared with other people and with teachers and with teachers assistants. So you'll get the chance to socialize for a couple days, weeks or so, and that'll prepare you for going into an even larger atmosphere with people you don't know. And also it'll help you transition as far as getting your work together and getting organization skills, because high school is a different game. It really is. You'll struggle if you don't start preparing now. You're going to struggle with all the work and dealing with all that. It's difficult to deal with on your own.
What I liked about 8 to 9 Connection was that it was a personal experience. It wasn't, you weren't, like in a classroom with like 30 other kids, just another student. You were actually being helped like one-on-one, and I felt like I was like learning like easier, like it wasn't as difficult.
my favorite thing about OPRF is that you get to meet so many different kinds of people, and like every person has their their ups and downs, and you get to learn a lot like from everyone, like not just like the students but like the teachers as well. And I think like OP is very diverse, so you get like a little bit of everything.
What I love about OPRF is all of the programs that they give you. So whether you're into like art, music, theater, dance, sports, like it's something for everybody. So you're not just like, you don't have like a small selection of things that you can do. So what I love is the wheel throwing. I literally have become addicted to wheel throwing. I will never be able to stop doing it, just because it's so relaxing and it puts you in like a clear state of mind, and you just have like so much fun, and you get to create so many beautiful things, and you get to keep all of them, and it's just like, you can't do that at all schools. this is just like, I'm glad that I went to this school because I would have never known about wheel throwing if I went to another school.
So here's how I would describe AE in a nutshell. AE, academic enrichment, is kind of like a study hall on steroids. There's a certified teacher in here who's able to give academic support to kids, help students in the program connect with their teachers. We have access right outside of the classroom to the tutoring center. There's just a ton of resources that are available for kids who are in this program. And it's a great way to help kids shore up skills and to learn executive functioning skills, organization, time management, how to communicate with their teachers, how to better communicate with other students in the classroom. It's just a win-win situation all around, and it's amazing. I push into one of these classes every day. It's amazing to be able to see the progress that a student will make from when they enter the program to when they exit. It's very rewarding from the teacher's standpoint, but it's also just a fabulous thing for the kids.
I've been in AE for 2 years. My teacher is Mr. Wise, and he's helped me a lot because he like keeps me focused and on task with like everything I need to do, and like every week he'll give me like a schedule of what my classes are, what my grades are. He'll highlight the things that I'm missing, and he'll help me like turn them in on time, and like he'll just be on me to like make sure I get good grades. And like I've gotten a lot out of AE. Like I've learned how to like, I guess, be more organized into like time management and just like how to better myself as a student, which I don't think I would have got if I wasn't in AE.
Well, I've been in AE for 2 years, and as far as AE goes, it tries to help you, especially when you're struggling. So still keep organized, get your grades together, and teach you organization skills, and help you with even emotional problems that you may be having, or anything like that may be difficult to deal with in high school on your own. So as far as my experience with AE, I know that I had problems getting the organization together, my grades together. So with AE, it'll help you like almost like a study hall, but more of a managed one, so that it will show you how to do certain things. You'll have in-room help and people that will watch you, make sure that you're doing your work, so you can't just push it off like you would enjoy to, because this is geared towards your future, and you can't just let it mess you up if you don't want to do your work. So they have people trying to help you, prepare yourself for the future, and it's not going to get easier as you go up through grades unless you're working on it. So these people help you work on organization and other types of skills that you will need that are necessary for you to transition even out of high school to college, and even from grade to grade in high school.
Being part of the program helps your academic skills, which comes with high school, and it helps your confidence while you go in the fall.
We hope you choose to join the H9 Connection. But either way you go, good luck this fall.
This is a fair player. also get $11 for the next to get can't hear me? Over this, really? No, I have faith, she'll get it. There you go. So just that this will be shown to the parents as well as the kids. And also what was nice is that this is an evolving kind of document that we can change it up every year. Obviously students change, come and go, music styles come and go. So those are certainly things that we wanted to create something that is a kind of an end product. It's also going to be on the website for Oak Park as well. Certainly easily accessible to parents, because certainly those of us who work in education know that the partnership is the key thing with the families, and unfortunately some of these kids, the partnership hasn't happened regardless of how many interventions that we've already put in place. So just to let you know that this video is going to be easily accessible to everyone.
As we all just witnessed, in our call to action is the elevation of success through partnerships and community support. We witnessed firsthand the drive for success when it's instilled. The resolution to succeed is greater than any other. It is very transparent to see the benefit and the support services of programs like 8 to 9 Connection and how it plants a seed for sustainability, not only for the youth, but for the community that they reside in as well. We've learned throughout the class that in life you must have not both catch your mittens on each hand, but be able to throw something back. We hope that we enlightened you today to be able to be a philanthropist, as a business leader, and or as a neighbor in the community, to reach out and pay forward to the youth and those that are in the community. I'll close with a quote from President John Quincy: "If your actions inspire others to learn, to do more, and become more, you're a leader." With that being said, we actually ran into some leaders that were already in place at OPRF and Dominican University. First off is Chris Johnson, who is not able to be with us today because she's actually at the school administering the program for the summer, already started. Next is our videographer, Ross Constable. He's actually a 2004 OPRF graduate. Cosmo Coffee, he's actually a videographer and OPR student as well. And Yvette Velasquez, who is an 8 to 9 Connection logo designer, and she's also a Dominican University student. We'd like to acknowledge all of our partners in this process: OPRF Community Foundation, Dominican University, specifically Ron Gachi, the Dominican University faculty that joined us through many of our sessions, Tiffany Gramrosa, Grace Whiting, District 90, District 97, and of course District 200 for partnering with us on this program and this video. Any questions?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't have.
David, yes.
When does the program actually begin? Does it begin at the high school or in the 8th grade?
That's a great question. So it began this week already, so it generally coincides with the start of Oak Park Group 4 summer school. So that's their first day. These students who unfortunately have not gotten a diploma from their 8th grade because they didn't meet the graduation requirements. There are some kids that did meet the graduation requirements, but would benefit greatly from some of those skills. So certainly that brings that number up to about 50 students. They do receive a diploma at the 8-9 Connections program. So they have a graduation ceremony. So there certainly is some closure to 8th grade, and hopefully a successful kind of more upbeat closure, and then kind of a nice connection to the high school. The great thing is that with the program, they actually get a grade, and they actually, which hopefully will be a high grade, which then counts on their GPA for high school.
Wow. So is it voluntary then, or required, or what?
It depends on the student. That question, it depends on the student. So different situations. In some cases where they haven't graduated, it's a condition of graduation that they attend and complete the program. And for other students, it's to acquire additional skills so that they can be more successful.
We were in 97, we require kids to go. We strongly recommend others, but like anything else, I mean, you don't have to necessarily have a middle school diploma. A child can graduate or can say, it's fine, we're moving to Chicago. And then we just transfer that student. So it's a fine line, but if they're going, and then of course with 200, it's a different district. But they would be then transferred over without a diploma.
But to get
Everyone goes.
But to get into District 200, you have to have a diploma, is that right?
No.
You do not?
No.
Okay.
I think Mary was, go ahead.
That was my question. So kids can leave 8th grade without a diploma and they'll be accepted into the high school without a problem?
Well, we are different districts, it's not a requirement. I can
So
probably.
8th grade graduation is not a requirement to go into high school?
Correct.
Okay. The second question is, who is the audience for the video? Who did you make the video for?
For the students who are in the program as well as their parents.
You talked about, you lose a few who move out or whatever. What's the percentage of those that are either required or highly recommended that actually go through the program? Do you have a statistic on that?
I don't have a statistic, but in talking to Chris, and I've been at Julian for 20 years and been in my role as assistant principal for 9, so it coincides with the same length of the 8-9 Connections program. We could probably count on one hand the amount of students who chose to leave the district or chose to not attend.
Oh, well, that's really.
I mean, the parents are, this is a emotional, kind of monumental thing to not graduate. You have to understand the amount of interventions, those who have been District 97 or 90 parents, and most of the kids are coming from 97. But we put in, obviously students have IEPs, they're not included, but we have students who are have all different kinds of interventions. We even added a student growth piece as a way of graduating as well. So we've really tried, I don't want to say lower the bar, but we're trying to really accentuate any growth that we see in the 8th grade. But the parents understand, at least most of the time, and they're not happy about their child not graduating, but they're not surprised. And those of you who are surprised are, yes, they shouldn't be surprised. So, with the amount of communication that happens from the schools to home, and nowadays everything's online, gradebook's online, just like high school. So there shouldn't be any surprise like maybe when you and I were in school where you might get 2 correspondents from school all year. You can access grades any day, anytime. Wow. So we gave the shortest presentation, so we can go on. There you go. Yes, go ahead.
So I know you had a slide on how this program is staffed. For existing Oak Park River Forest students that aren't in the program, are there peer mentors of existing students? How could they get involved in tutoring or even just some of the social dynamics?
Well, and that's kind of actually, we're talking a little bit about like what we've learned, and that was kind of the things that we bounced that around. That was one of those main goals. And of course, it's a group, so it's not like, well, I'm going to do this and then everybody else get on board. It's just that same idea that there are kids who have successfully, I think this is your question, who have successfully navigated high school. Doesn't mean they haven't had bumps in the road, but some of the kids you saw in the video are at different stages towards that success, and you saw some of them have graduation cap and gowns. There are kids who are alumni, obviously. So that was the original maybe thought about maybe doing some kind of mentoring, giving back, because these are the kids who say, hey, I was you 3 years ago. I was you 4 years ago. I think there's a lot of power in that. So I think Chris Johnson does that a little. I don't know if there's anything formally in place with that.
I think that's really the opportunity that we see with the strategic plan and looking at the transition pieces in an existing program. And there's other existing programs that are doing little parts of a lot of this work. And in our conversations with District 200 and between 90 and 97, really identifying and looking how we can have some cohesion with what it feels like to be an 8th grader and then transition into a high school. Getting our minds around maybe more of a standard process instead of just different programs for different students. So that's work that's yet to be, and I think it's definitely an opportunity.
How many students are in the program, like your class this summer?
50.
50.
46.
Okay.
46.
There's
Sorry.
50
And that's typically about the size, okay.
Yeah, generally what they'll ask for is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tina, they'll ask us for about 25 for Julian and 25, the most neediest kids for Brooks. I don't know how many nights you get.
Yeah, we have some limited spots, another opportunity to probably grow support, support for students coming from all 3 districts.
Is that the maximum you could take? I mean, is 50 it? Is there more people that need it?
Molly, it's a good question. It's where it's funded right now. There's
Oh.
more people who need it, but it's a funding issue. So absolutely, there's a bigger opportunity, but we're limited to the number of spots we can pay their faculty. So their budget is granted by the high school. So there's an opportunity to grow that budget, and then there would be more spots available.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this doesn't include students with IEPs as well, which is in our building about 8 or 9% of our 8th grade. Yes?
What's the success rate of kids who go through this? Do they end up?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, 100%. No, I mean, I think there's kids who have continued to struggle. So I don't know that the rate, I think that'd be something that would be useful as far as the success, you know, for sure.
I think when we talked to Chris, she said that that's one of the, because they have short staffed, and they wish they'd done better tracking. She just wasn't aware of statistics for us.
I think it's worthwhile, like any program, to understand your level of success. To say about 90% of students in 8-9 Connections program should graduate. But there are kids, and of course they've come through Julian, and they struggle. They still struggle for 4 years, or their alternative placements, even with all the interventions at the high school, whether it's social work, whether it's academic counselors, whether it's academic enrichment, whether it's Oak Park Youth Township. And there's a lot of things that we throw at the kids, and we're still not successful, so there's always work to be done.
Is there any thought about starting this program in the 8th grade? I mean, you've probably identified the kids in the beginning of 8th grade, don't you think?
Yeah, middle of 6th grade.
Okay, so, I mean, as a community, we're spending lots of money on early childhood.
Correct.
You see any need to look at this in the junior high to have this kind of group to get?
Sure, I mean, we have programs at the high school, I'm sorry, the district center are very similar to this.
You do?
Absolutely. They have to attend a 5-week summer school program as well for between 7th and 8th grade. That has a lot of these same skill sets: executive functioning, behavioral management, peer relations, all those kinds of things. So, but again, you're looking at 5 weeks in the summer as it correlates to what, 37 to 38 week school year. And unfortunately, there's not often as much modeling and reinforcement of these skills.
And does this program go through the whole year?
Sorry?
Does this program go through the whole year?
There's a connection with these kids all year. They mentioned the academic enrichment class.
Right.
That's something that all of these kids go into as part of their schedule.
Yeah, this program is a 5-week summer.
Okay.
But then they get in the studying while on steroids that Chris was talking about. So they're heavily monitored throughout their all 4 years.
You know, the motivational mentoring program, would kids from that program be in this?
Is that Stephen Jackson's program?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there is just, I mean, a ton of overlap. I mean, if there's my neediest 10 that in 8th grade, there probably half, a dozen or 6 of them are getting services from youth guidance, some from Oak Park Ed Foundation, Thrive, different types of organizations that we're throwing these interventions at. So we'll just keep working, because there's certainly kids that are still not there. And to answer Mary's point, you could probably go back to statistically 3rd grade or even pre-K. I mean, these are the same kids who they're coming in 3rd grades, 2 or 3 grade levels below, and they're staying there. So, you know, it's certainly something that we still have not solved. And that's not just Oak Park, that's many communities as far as bridging that gap. Other than maybe, extending the school year for those students to, instead of 190 days, extending it to 230, and having them go all year if that's the crisis. But with that comes money, right? You have to someone to teach those kids because they can't afford to take summers off by the time they're in 8th grade or high school. Anyone else didn't say anything? You didn't say you didn't ask a question.
I can say something later.
You say something later. All right. Well, thank you guys.